The Loki series is just a few days away, and the excitement in the MCU air is palpable. And with good reason. Over his 10 years in the Marvel Universe, Loki has been one of the most compelling, dynamic characters in the entire saga. From his first appearance in Thor to his tragic sacrifice in Infinity War, Loki, both through his writing and Tom Hiddleston's majestically charismatic performance, has kept audiences at rapt attention in every scene that he has appeared in. And the main reason for that is that you never know what version of Loki you'll get from movie to movie or even scene to scene. That chaotic fluidity of character is something that made Loki so compelling all the way back when he was just a Norse god and not the adopted brother of the strongest Avenger.
Strongest Avenger.
Access denied.
Strongest Avenger.
Access denied.
Damn you, Stark.
Across the span of the sagas of Norse mythology, Loki could appear in one story as a hero, in another as a villain, and he could even start some as one and finish as the other. And it's that same chaotic energy that Marvel made sure the character kept across the span of the MCU.
I just couldn't help myself.
I know.
I'm a trickster.
Yes, so mischievous.
Yeah.
The key here isn't that Loki is a trickster. It's that he feels to us like a trickster because of the fluidity that's inherent to his character. He's the son of Odin, yes, but he's also the son of the evil frost giants. He is clever enough to think he'd be a great king of Asgard, but at the same time, he gets caught up in the flamboyant laziness of being the king. He loves his brother dearly, but not enough to sacrifice his own survival for him.
Come on. What did you expect?
That fluidity is even deeper in the original mythology, where Loki's gender and even his form fluctuates all the time. Even though in Greek mythology we learn that gods can just turn into a bunch of random stuff, in Norse mythology Loki is really unique in this regard, and especially in just how many forms, genders, and sexualities he expresses.
He transformed himself into a snake, and he knows that I love snakes. So I went to pick up the snake, and he transformed back into himself, and he was like, "Yeah, it's me!" And he stabbed me.
That fluidity of character means that every MCU director has used Loki differently, whether he's the conqueror in Avengers or the reluctant hero in Ragnarok. These are all simply different expressions of his ever-shifting persona.
You were trying to kill everybody. Where are you at these days?
It varies from moment to moment.
And from the trailers, it looks like this is something Marvel is going to lean further into in the Loki series. As he explores different timelines, we're sure to encounter a myriad representations of Loki's identity, each as unique as they are actually all the same. That fluidity of character is what leaves us constantly surprised in any of his on-screen appearances, and even if we aren't surprised, we are absolutely always entertained.
Sorry about that time. I turned you into a frog.
It was a wonderful joke.
It was indeed hilarious.
At its core, his ever-shifting identity means that Loki is always looking inward and expressing what he sees outwards. No matter who he is, he's always driven by ego. Because how else can you show off your current persona if not by flamboyantly making yourself the center of attention? And that showmanship is just another reason why we, as an audience, can't get enough of Loki. And it's why he's the subject of countless online fan edits with cheesy music and floaty love hearts.
I'm asking for safe passage through the anus.
He is shamelessly himself and expresses whichever person he is that day in as loud a fashion as possible. That speaks to something in all of us, the sometimes good and sometimes bad feeling that we should stop caring what the hell anyone else thinks about who we are and what we're doing. that we should boldly be ourselves and daringly go after what we want, even if there are others in our way. That reckless self-interest is so compelling to watch because it's something we sometimes wish we could all do. It's an on-screen form of wish fulfillment. But ultimately, that same selfishness that makes Loki so incredible to watch is also the reason why he often plays the part of the villain. For the most part, we are all better people than Loki. And that's why as soon as Loki did do something for someone else, trading the Space Stone to save Thor, he was killed off, and why for the upcoming series, they've hit the reset button on all of that character development. The tragic, selfless Infinity War Loki is gone, and we're back to the chaotic, selfish Loki. The one whose motives, and even whose very identity, we can never guess. In one moment, he can be the Loki that would kill a waiter because they slightly overcooked his eggs at brunch.
You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times. Why never do it again?
And in another moment, he could be the Loki that would save a city just because they really do have the best theater there. With Loki, you never know just quite who it is that you're going to get. And that makes him one of the most compelling characters, not just in the MCU, but in our grand human tradition of stories. This video is brought to you by my generous donors on Patreon. If you'd like your name in the credits and 24-hour early access to my videos, the link to sign up is below and somewhere on screen right here around this disembodied voice. And I'm cheap! I sell myself for as little as $1 a month. My mother would be so proud.